So you're thinking about moving to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. You maybe don't want to live in the city, so you're really wanting to know what's going on in the suburbs of Charlotte. Well, you've come to the right spot. We get calls and text messages and emails every day from people looking at the Charlotte area, wanting to know where to live, what to do, things to see, places to go, who the people are, what it's like here. So we're going to jump into that in a video over here about Mint Hill, North Carolina. What we're doing today is we're going to give you a map tour of the Mint Hill area. We're going to start at 50,000 feet, come down to 20,000 feet, and then finally zoom in a little bit more on Mint Hill at 5,000 feet, so stick around. Hi, I'm Dave DeSilva with Long Tab Realty, brokered by eXp Realty here in Charlotte, and we are excited to bring you this piece of information about Mint Hill, 11 miles southeast of Charlotte. If you're moving here in 9 days, 90 days, 9 months, please go ahead and subscribe down here, hit the like button, make a comment. You'll be the first one to know what's going on in this area. As I said, we're going to give you a map tour of the area, so just pay attention. If you have any comments and questions, like I said before, please leave them. We would love to help you out and get you acclimated better to the area, looking for what you want to know about. All right, so this is more than 50,000 feet. This is about 10, 20, 30 miles up in the air. But here we go with Charlotte, North Carolina right here. Mint Hill is right down here in the southeast corner of Charlotte, and it's about 11 miles, which takes you about 20, 25, 30 minutes, depending on traffic. Can take you as much as 40 minutes to drive into Charlotte from Mint Hill. And we'll go ahead and show you that a little bit better when we zoom in. But as far as where Charlotte is and where Mint Hill is, you are centrally located around quite a bit. You've got Columbia, South Carolina to the south, about 76 miles, about an hour and a half from South Charlotte. You've got Augusta, which is a little bit, maybe another hour and a half southwest of Columbia. For the bigger cities, you've got Atlanta, right here to the southwest. And what you would do is you'd probably jump on Route 85 right down here. That's about 3.5 hours to get down to Atlanta. If you're heading even further south, you'd come down to maybe Charleston, right down there, about 3.5 to 4 hours. Wilmington off to the east, right off on 74. It's a straight shot to Wilmington, and I can get there. I have experience getting there in just about 3 hours and 10 minutes, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Usually takes about 3.5 hours. Lots of beaches up and down north and south of Wilmington. If you're heading down a little bit further south, you've got Hilton Head, and that's about 4 hours, almost the same route. This is probably not exactly it. Nope, I'm sorry, we're heading down to Savannah. That's about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and then the Florida coast south of there. If you're looking at the north of Charlotte, heading north, you've got Raleigh and Durham, where UNC is, and NC State. Go NC State, go Wolfpack. And that's about 3 hours to the northeast along 85. The Virginia border is probably 2.5 hours north of Charlotte along 77. That's a great north-south route. And then a little bit further northeast is Richmond, about 5 hours. DC's about 6.5, 7. You can really get hammered with traffic. And then, of course, if you're looking at Knoxville over in this direction, you're going to go through Asheville. From Charlotte, Asheville's about 2.5 hours. Knoxville, again, is about 4.5 hours, give or take. So Charlotte is centrally located. Great place to be. You can be up in the mountains skiing, all up in here in just a couple hours, 2 hours. You can be on the beaches all up and down, anywhere from 3.5 to 5 hours. You've got just lots of things to do in the Charlotte market, and that's our big scale map. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit closer into Charlotte and orient you to the Charlotte area. All right, welcome back. That was our quick look at Charlotte from many, many miles up in space. And now here we are looking at Charlotte a little bit closer in view. We're going to look at some of the suburbs. I'm going to identify Mint Hill again as the primary suburb for today that we're talking about, and give you an orientation to the Charlotte market and east, west, north, and south, some things of interest. So again, like I said, if you have any questions, if you have some comments, if you want to know more about a particular area, please make those comments in the comments section. So here we are. Here is what we call Uptown Charlotte. right here. And Charlotte is surrounded by 2 loops. This is the 277 loop, pretty much, something like that. And this is the 485 loop. This is probably about 10-12 years old. When I moved here in 2000, this one just covered the bottom perimeter of the Charlotte market and a little bit up top, I believe. From here, you've got 77 heading north from Charlotte. That is a toll road once you get north of the 485 intersection there. You've got 74, which is a main east-west route going out to, actually east, out to the beach, like I said just a little while ago. Again, you've got 77 coming south into Rock Hill, one of the MSA cities around Charlotte, or towns, cities, depending on where you come from. And then going out east, and actually this is a north-south route. It looks east-west, but actually it's identified as a north-south route. And that is 85 heads up to Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Cary, Raleigh, Durham, all the way up into Richmond, and then connects with 95 heading up north to New England. And then you've got 85 here, takes you down into Gaffney, and then Greenville, Spartanburg, and then into Atlanta. So you've got some major routes here, and Charlotte was initially a trade center, and you've actually got Trade and Tryon Street right uptown, named after it being a trade center. But so from here, I'm going to identify Mint Hill, which, here we go. There's Mint Hill. Sorry, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the map here. That is the suburb we're going to talk about today. You've got it, Mint Hill, surrounded by a ton of other suburbs in Charlotte that we do either have videos on, you can see in our playlist, or we're going to make some more videos. You've got Indian Trail to the south. You've got Matthews, the next town over to the west. Up north is Harrisburg a little bit, and then you've got Concord, Salisbury, Kannapolis up 85. On the north side of Charlotte is Huntersville, Mooresville, Cornelius, Davidson, some really nice areas up there. You've got, of course, this is the Lake Norman area. Meow. Sorry for my noise adding in there. On the south side, you've got Lake Wylie. And west, the communities of Belmont and Gastonia. And then you've got things like Stanley out there, Mount Holly. These are not necessarily considered Charlotte suburbs. They might be the further out Charlotte suburbs, like Mooresville. The closer in ones are Pineville, which you can't read my Pineville, is right here. You've got, like I said, Matthews, Mint Hill, Harrisburg, Huntersville, Mount Holly, Belmont. And to the south, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Fort Mill, South Carolina. Awesome community. You've got Indian Land and Indian Trail. Indian Trail's in North Carolina, Indian Land's in South Carolina. And then you've got Tegakay, which is a lake community somewhat. And then, of course, like I mentioned, Lake Wylie. Down a little bit further south is Rock Hill, South Carolina, known for their very good football teams down there in South Carolina. And that might be about it as far as just a quick orientation of the suburbs. Something that's important to a lot of people moving to Charlotte is the Charlotte Douglas Airport, which I believe is the 5th or 6th largest or busiest airport in the country. It's an international airport, flights going out all day long. That is located just to the west of Charlotte. See on the inside of the 485 loop, I'll just color that in for you out there. You've also got nearby that the Whitewater Rafting Center, the Whitewater Center, and there's a lot of Olympic trials, Olympic practicing going on there at the Whitewater Center. You do have a skydiving place. Where is that? Out here in York area. Where's that? Lancaster. That's kind of nice. You've got an indoor skydiving to the northeast side of Charlotte. Let's see. And there are miles and miles and miles of trails that permeate from south to north, north to south, east, west, all throughout Charlotte. A lot of greenways, great places to run it if you're an active person. Endless supply of parks, greenways, camping. To the west, I've been down to Kings Mountain, to the south, Cane Creek, to the north. Just places all over the Charlotte region to be active. So that is a little bit closer look. Next, we're going to jump right into Mint Hill and kind of orient you to Mint Hill and some of the places, like I said, that were identified on our other video that we just put out a little while ago on Mint Hill proper and some of the activities going on in Mint Hill. So check that video out. wherever it may be. Okay, we are zoomed in a little bit on Mint Hill, and what you can see on the map is in white that's the town boundary of Mint Hill, and it's surrounded by Charlotte to the west and Matthews to the southwest a little bit, off to the east, other parts of the Charlotte area. But what you're going to see here, and I'll just do a little bit of drawing and then I'll erase it, but you're looking at 485 cutting mainly on the east side of Mint Hill, and that's the loop around Charlotte. And here's 485. You're going to see that splits Mint Hill a little bit, but it's mainly the eastern boundary. And to the north side is 27, cutting it over here. And the main road that goes right through Mint Hill, and this is a very long east-west road, goes from Pineville on the western side of southwest Charlotte, through Charlotte, through Matthews, and then cuts into Mint Hill. And that's Route 51. It's Pineville Matthews Road, it's Matthews Mint Hill Road, but that's this road right here. And when I first moved here about 20 years ago, that was, kind of a lazy 2-lane road. It developed into a 4-lane road. I think it was getting there already, and now it's a pretty busy road coming in and out of Mint Hill. You're going to find some of the older homes when you first get into Mint Hill on the north and the south side of 51, and then it gets a little more modernized as we go into Mint Hill, the center area, the proper area of Mint Hill, with some new construction as far as retail goes, retail, hospital, police, fire, some new neighborhoods, and there's also a lot of new construction in the outskirts of Mint Hill as well. But it's really a developing city of about 27,000 people, and it's growing quite a bit, and I think they've done a pretty good job with their growth control. But it is definitely a nice suburb of southeast Charlotte. If you're looking at getting into Charlotte, any way to do that is along 27 and then on 74, which is this route here. And as I said in my earlier video, 74 gets you from Charlotte, or Mint Hill in this case, all the way to the coast, all the way to the beach in about 3.5 hours, depending on how fast you drive. But you can get uptown a number of ways, depending on where you are in Mint Hill. And probably the most efficient way is just to jump on 74, which is a main route into Charlotte. It'll get you there pretty quickly, 20, 25, 30 minutes. If there's a football game or things going on uptown, rush hour, it might take you that 25, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Accident could take you forever. But you do have some other alternative routes into Charlotte from Mint Hill. So we're going to go ahead and... okay, here's our third phase where we're zooming in a little bit more directly on just Mint Hill and some of the highlights of Mint Hill. What we're going to talk about are a couple parks, some neighborhoods, some of the municipal areas around Mint Hill, and then kind of just orient you a little bit more to where those are, and just see if we can give you a good overview of Mint Hill, North Carolina. So right here, this is what I would consider the town center of Mint Hill. You've got Mint Hill Village, which is a great neighborhood right behind it, and that again is highlighted in our video on Mint Hill. And then just to the southwest is Brighton, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods. It's a very walkable location. All of this up and down here in Mint Hill. You've got the homes, obviously, then you've got retail locations, you've got some pubs, and we'll talk about those as we go, but very walkable. So here we go again with Route 51, cuts right through Mint Hill, right through the center. North and south, you're going to find some older homes, as I said, on the north side, south side. And then as we get in more towards the Mint Hill center, you're going to find a little bit more updated location. But what I want to do is kind of hit on some of the things that are just a little bit to the outskirts. And the first thing is that Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park, which is a great little place to go hang out and do some activities with your kids or friends or families. And that's to the west of downtown Mint Hill off of Lawyers Road. And I will tell you that there's Idlewild Road to the south, which is a major road at the south side of Mint Hill. There's Lawyer Roads right about the Lawyers Road, right about to the center. And then you've got, I think it's Wingate Mint Hill Road, another one coming into the center area. And then, like I said before, you've got 485 dissecting and on the east side. Some of the high schools that you're going to find around here are Independence High School, which is a great football school, Rocky River High School, which is the newer school, and then down to the south, just outside of Mint Hills, Butler High School, again, a great football school. So you've got some great educational locations in Mint Hill. Your kids can go. They are part of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system, and your kids can go from daycare, preschool, to elementary school, middle school, and high school. And then also there's a lot of secondary education opportunities more towards Charlotte. One of the places that we highlighted in my talk about Mint Hill is right here, Mint Hill Veterans Park, Veterans Memorial Park. I was there years and years ago coaching some soccer, and there was a nice field. That was about it. There were a little bit of a playground. Now you've got some turf fields, great grass fields. You've got soccer, you've got volleyball, you've got tennis. There's baseball fields there, or softball fields, running trails. There's a memorial, obviously, to the Korean War veterans from Mint Hill, and that's a fantastic one, as you can see by the picture here. And then, it's just a great place to go hang out. You've got some spots where you can bring your family and have a picnic and just walk around. So really nice park. If you go a little bit to the east on 218, which is one of the routes, east-west routes, on 218, you're going to come across Old Sycamore Golf Club. I played there a couple times, not for a number of years. It is a public club. They've got a great chef. His name is Daniel, and he's the husband of a friend of mine, another agent I've worked with for about 20 years. But Old Sycamore Golf Plantation is just a great place to go, hit a couple balls, play a round of golf, and then enjoy some food. To the south of that, there's another golf community that I think is more in the Matthews side, but that's Emerald Lake. Before we zoom in onto the town square, we're going to talk a little bit about this area in here, which is Joli, Cheval, Equestrian Park and neighborhood. That's one of the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million neighborhoods in Mint Hill. You've got chunks of land out there. There's one house that is about an 8,000 to 10,000 square foot home on, I think it's about 13 acres of land. It looks like it's a Spanish mission house, but that's kind of the centerpiece of that location. Other than the equestrian facility out there, but there's plenty of homes throughout the neighborhood that are in that $1 million plus range, and that's just the high end of Mint Hill. You're going to see another neighborhood down here. That's Brighton Park, which I talked about in the video. That's one of my favorite neighborhoods, very walkable. And then back here is Mint Hill Village, a neighborhood that's got a lot of brick homes, and all these were built in probably the early 2000s to mid 2000s, and a couple of new constructions still going on. A number of other neighborhoods in Mint Hill that we won't talk about here, we'll talk about in another video. Okay, as I said, what we're going to do now is talk a little bit about the main street in Mint Hill, which again is Route 51. It's an east-west road that goes from Pineville all the way over to the east side into Mint Hill. So right here, there it is, I'm sorry. Right here is the Mint Hill Village Center. And you've got the town hall there. You've got some other municipal buildings. You've got one of my favorite breweries around is Pour 64 in there. Of course, you've got right next door the Carl J. McEwen Historic Village. That's right in here. That's a place you can go and take a walking tour. It's a lot of old homes, some shops, and just a great place to kind of relax and set yourself back a couple hundred years, okay, maybe 100 years, and see what it was like in the area in the 1800s, 1700s. Up and down Route 51, you're going to find anything from restaurants. You've got Char Bar up here, the spa. You've got a lot of medical facilities, which are new and great, and that's Atrium Health. And then there's Robinson Orthodontics in Mint Hill. As I said, over here to orient you a little bit more is at Mint Hill Memorial Park. And then down here a little bit is the Cheval Joli Equestrian Center. And then out here to the east is Old Sycamore Golf Course. So this is that main road that goes east to west. Lawyers Road cuts through. And then 51, and then down to the south is let's see, Ottawa Road. So let's hold off here. I'll get back to doing some more of this later. All right, well, you just survived our first map tour ever on YouTube video, and this one, of course, was from Mint Hill, suburb just southeast of Charlotte. If you liked it, please let us know. If you didn't like it, please let us know. Leave comments. Let me know what you want to see, hear, talk about. If you want to get on a Zoom call, send me a text, give me an email. We're welcome to that. We get messages all the time from people moving to the area, and they are very wide open about what they want to see and what they want to hear. So we're welcoming your information. So please go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the comments, as I've said a number of times. If you want to share with people that you think might be interested in moving to the Carolinas or specifically the Mint Hill area, we'd be wide open to talk to them on a Zoom call, DM, text, email, anything. Even a conference call, the old standby. Thanks. Bye.